Hello everybody, today we'll be debunking a claim of if both Max Headroom incident videos ever even used the same footage. If you don't know the backstory of the Max Headroom incident, I'll basically put a condensed version of this story. It was the night of November 22nd, 1987. A group of unknown individuals basically hijacked two separate television stations in the duration of 3 hours. The first incident occurred on WGN-TV at around 9:14 p.m. during their highlights of the Chicago Bears on their evening sportscast. The first video was just Max Headroom bobbling his head and jumping around. There wasn't even any audio aside from a low-quality buzzing noise. The background was created using corrugated sheet metal meant to emulate the background effects that were quasi-CG from the Max Headroom TV series. This hijacking lasted for only 30 seconds, as WGN officials were able to change frequencies and cause basically the sports anchor to tell, well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I, and just repeated what he just said just before the hijacking occurred. And the story doesn't even end there. Nope. We're just going to get a bit warm here, because this isn't the end of the story.
Twice, some of it. That's right. You liked it so much that you really planned that, didn't you? Sure I did. Okay, Dan.
At around 11:15 p.m., WTTW had its signal hijacked by the same group of hijackers during their broadcast of a Doctor Who episode titled Pour a Fang Rock. This time, the hijackers were able to get the audio to work. Unlike WGN, however, WTTW couldn't find a way to switch transmissions because there weren't any engineers on duty at the time. Therefore, this made the station vulnerable to a much longer transmission. What basically followed was 90 seconds of the Max Headroom impersonator making fun of WGN anchor Chuck Swirsky, Max Headroom's ill-fated new Coke advertisements, giving the finger with a rubber extension, humming the theme song to Clutch Cargo, mocking Chicago's newspaper, putting on a glove claiming that his brother has the other one, rendering it dirty, and near the end of the video, he gets spanked by somebody with a fly swatter. It then cuts to black, and the Doctor Who rerun resumed. Despite investigations by both the FCC and the FBI, none of the hijackers were ever caught, rendering the incident pretty much unsolved forever. So there, that's the backstory. Now let's get on to the real topic of this video. Now on to the question of this video. Do both Max Headroom incident videos even use the same footage? If you said, technically yes, you'd be completely wrong. I here would say, in reality, no. Why, you may ask? Well, because back then, we didn't even have any frame-by-frame image software back then. This was all done through hardware back in the early decades, particularly in the 80s and even the 90s, basically. Aside from basically CAV Laserdisc releases and even some VCRs that let you basically pause at a still image of a video frame, there wasn't really any good options back then. However, by the time the 2000s and 2010s came along, we got a few software offerings that made it a little bit easier to extract every frame of a video, rendering the old hardware frame-by-frame tactic pretty much obsolete. So today, I'm going to be using basically DVD VideoSoft's free video to JPEG converter to extract every single frame from both Max Headroom incident videos and analyze each of the video frame by frame to debunk these claims of basically both videos ever even using the same footage. Alright, so I got my laptop here, and it's ready to analyze these video frames. I already had installed, basically, the free video to JPEG converter, and I'm going to be using the Windows Live photo gallery software because it's much more better than the built-in photo viewer that was included with Windows 10. The latter has since been discontinued, but I put a link to both software in the description below. Oh, in case you get duplicate frames, go ahead and download Dupaguru. It's a very useful utility that detects duplicate files, including audio, video, and basically image files. Use that if you get duplicate image frames, because it will be a lot tougher to, analyze the frames. So this will make, analyzing the frames much easier. Alright, so let's begin extracting the frames. I'll be doing the WGN one first. Oh, and I'm extracting every frame using the every frame option, because that's going to extract every single frame from both videos. That way we can basically compare them frame by frame. Now that I did the first video, now I'm going to be doing the second video that took place on WTTW now. Okay, now we got the still image frames from both videos extracted. Now let's compare these frame by frame to debunk these claims of basically both Max Headroom incident videos using the same footage. Okay, I'm gonna be comparing 100 frames of both Max Headroom incident videos and see if the claim is either true or simply false. As you can see, basically, looking at the frames of both videos, you could clearly tell they are not the same video, and therefore, they have completely different content. As you may tell, the first incident has about 497 frames, while the second incident has 2,638 frames. Basically, once you reach the 497th frame of both videos, you can tell that the content is completely different. If you took basically 2,638 minus 497 on your calculator, you get basically 2,141 frames. So technically, the second incident has 2,141 more frames than the first incident. That means the second incident is much longer than the first one, basically. So, technically speaking, both videos aren't technically the same. Basically, the only thing that's completely the same is basically the guy wearing the Max Headroom mask and the background. The video content is just completely different, and thus therefore don't share any similarities between each other whatsoever. As mentioned in the bizarre episode about the Max Headroom incident, the hijackers separated the second incident video by just cutting out portions of the video. Basically showed the scene where he gets spanked with the fly swatter. Basically, that's how the second video was seen. But it's unlikely that they did the same tactic with the first incident, as there is no actual jump cut whatsoever, or in the first incident. Also, aside from just basically the bobbing his head and jumping tactic, they are completely different content. As you can see, this took a very, very, very long time to actually compare these frame by frame and basically conclude this analysis on this speculation of both videos using the same exact footage. So, in conclusion, what can we conclude? Well, despite sharing the same guy in the Max Headroom mask and even the background, they are not the same video and they are not the same footage. So therefore, this myth regarding of basically both Max Headroom incidents using the same footage is therefore deemed debunked. Case closed. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful and basically ending the infamous myth of basically both Max Headroom incidents using the exact same footage. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in another video if I can really plan it. See you later, and goodbye, and I'll see you next time.